Chapter 5 Southern Sumatra. Part 1 Lampong. Economic life. Agriculture. The land in Lampong is unfavorable for irrigation, so that very little wet grass is cultivated. Formerly, the soil was tempered by carabao and the plough was not used. It has been recently introduced by the Japanese. Several families own or land together, the planting and weeding being done by each family separately, while the families unite for the harvesting. Cattle raising is not important in Lampong, but the people keep carabao and a few goats as households and as household animals. Fishing is one of the main industries. The interior of the country is uncultivated and inhabited by wild animals, chiefly by tigers, elephants, rhinoceros, monkeys, and wild pigs, cats, and goats. The rivers are infested by crocodiles, villages, and horses. The villages of Lampung are on rivers and sometimes are far distant from one another. The house Nua are grouped around the communal house Sesat. The family houses are built on piles 5 to 7 feet above the ground. They are surrounded by fences safeguarding the safeguarding the firewood, poultry, and other possessions. Each house is built one or more stories high. It has a central section for the reception of strangers, a cooking place, and sleeping quarters divided into three sections for the wives. If a man has more than one wife, they live according to the order of their marriages. The first wife in the first section, the second in the next, etc. If a fourth wife is taken, a special section has to be built for her accommodation. The woman whom a man acquires by inheritance must be taken into his own section of the house. The concubines live in the third position of the woman's part. The houses are built entirely of wood or partly of wood and partly of bamboo and the bark of trees. The home of people of middle rank are usually well decorated and thatched with palm leaf roots. Most houses have a flight of steps with a veranda on top. The steps are used for drying goods, and the new and the young daughters of the house receive admirers of the veranda. In the older hamlet of a village, the communal house, called Sesat or Balidana, is situated. The Sesat is best constructed in the regions where Islam is of least influence. It is usually built on piles and consists of one room with a number of the subdivisions in which the people of different classes sit. The walls and floor of the building are of woven bamboo. The village government holds its meetings in the Sesat, and the regulations of the authorities are here hung up for all to read. The Sesat also serves office for lodging government officials, servants, and traveling Europeans. Besides the village Sesat, there is in every hamlet of the village a small public building called Paseban Anggung or Lungku, where the head of the hamlet with his older subordinates arrange minor matters of state which fall under his jurisprudence. Among the wealthy people of Lampung, elaborate use is made of silver for household utensils. Silver plates are used at feast, and the siri is served in silver. Large porcelain and earthenware are employed for storing goods, and trays are made of copper and wood. Water usually stored in hollowed out pumpkins, although bamboos also serve this purpose. Far in the interior, the people still manufacture their own pottery for necessity, but it is not of such fine quality as that found in Palembang or Java. Clothing and ornaments, while tapa cloth is made of in the interior. The more civilized people clothe themselves than the Malays and Javanese. Most of the decorations are assumed by unmarried women at the time of dances. The men use the men use less elaborate ornaments. Besides their finger rings, the latter were gold and silver cases. On festive occasions, men of rank wear gold crowns, arm rings, neck bands, belts set with gold and two or more creases. Married men wear silver. Married men wear silver earrings, which will be loved which will be laughed at if worn by young bachelors. The Lampong people are noted for the splendor with which young women of noble rank attire themselves for dancing. Besides their rich clothing, they wear on their heads crowns made of pandanus leaves, on their foreheads fillets of beaten gold, large horn combs in their hair, and coral decorations around the head. Golden bands are likewise worn around the neck. Each maid wears a gold or silver finger nail on the little finger of her right hand as a token of virginity. Called arm rings, too, are worn wrought with floral decorations. Slave girls are not allowed gold finger nails, but are content with silver or copper. Economic life. All excepting the nobles and the rich lead a regular life of work and agriculture or fishing. They rise at dawn and bathe, or at least wash their faces in the river. Women wash their children and fetch water at this time. The men and women bathe in separate places. Some of the people now eat a bit of rice for breakfast, and the well-to-do add coffee to the menu. Then even one goes to his daily tasks, which lasts an indefinite period of time. The poorer people work in the rich fields. The ordinary occupations of women include fetching water, searching for firewood, dressing and cooking rice, spinning thread and weaving cloth, and mending their own and the men's apparel. At times, the entire village is called out for work, as when heavy loads have to be drawn or a communal house is to be built. The young people of both sexes aid in the work. The midday meal among the wealthy people is eaten at an undetermined time among the poorer shortly before noon. The evening meal is taken before sundown. When people work in the fields, they bring their food along with them. In the evening, the men who do not remain in the fields go to the homes of their friends and relatives in order to spend the time in gossip with them before going to bed. Meanwhile, the young men court the unmarried women. The people of Lampong eat far simpler food than the Japanese. The Kapala Maga, the person of highest rank, eats little else than rice and vegetables cooked in water. Those who live near the sea or rice sometimes have a bit of fresh fish. Salt was formerly given to visitors as a special treat. Carabao meat is only eaten as fish. Both sexes chew siri and, and, and are addicted to tobacco smoking. Weapon, weapons of war. In the days of Bantam rule, districts and chiefs often fought against one another in boundary disputes. Distinctive weapons were the notchen, a pig tied to the end of a long stick, and a long bamboo with a cobblestone at its end. At its end. With the latter, the warriors displayed great skill in warding off the pig thrust of the enemy and breaking the pigs. Pigs were also warded off with shields. Another weapon, probably of Javanese origin, was a long bamboo with rotten thorns tied to its end. This was used to catch the enemy or lacerate his skin. In Javanese, the weapon was used to catch thieves and mooks. Before the days of Mohammedan influence, the people of Lampung were headhunters, and this trade persisted until stopped by the Dutch.